Michael Caine once said that if someone asked him which of his films he loved most, his answer depended entirely on how much time they had, because he'd made a tremendous number of them. That line alone tells you everything about the man. He grew up a massive film fan, going to the cinema every single day of the week, when there was no television to compete with it. Nobody who spent their childhood sitting in those dark theaters ever imagined they'd one day be the person up on the screen. And yet, somehow, that's exactly what happened. Looking back across a career spanning decades, Caine admits that some films he remembers vividly, some he recalls mainly because something absurd happened during production, and one or two he's genuinely had to pause and think, was he actually in that? That's what a life fully lived looks like. What he doesn't do is sit at home rewatching his old work. He'd much rather have dinner, but occasionally he'll catch a clip on television, a young man with an extraordinary amount of hair, and something comes rushing back. Not the scene itself, but the people in it. Sean Connery giving him a hard time. Julie Walters making it impossible to keep a straight face. John Huston filling a room just by being in it. Those are the things that stay. 5 films, when pressed, rise above the rest. Not because of awards or box office, but because of what they meant personally. The Quiet American came during a period when he'd stopped trying to prove himself, which he describes as a wonderful age for any actor. Playing Fowler in the Vietnamese Heat alongside Brendan Fraser, he found something rare, a performance where he could no longer see himself acting. He could only see the character. That, he says, almost never happens. Educating Rita gave him Julie Walters, who could transform the energy of an entire room just by walking into it. Their scenes together, 2 people simply talking, no spectacle, nowhere to hide, worked because she brought something completely honest every single time. Years later, audiences still speak about Rita as though she were someone they knew personally. The Man Who Would Be King gave him Sean Connery and John Huston, an adventure shot in Morocco under brutal conditions. What he remembers most isn't the dust or the exhaustion, but the sound of Connery's laugh between takes. 2 working-class men, one from Edinburgh, one from London, who never quite believed they'd ended up where they had, ribbing each other through the whole thing. That friendship was real, and it shows. Youth, directed by Paolo Sorrentino, arrived when Caine was genuinely old enough to stop pretending otherwise. Playing a retired composer in a Swiss hotel, surrounded by people quietly refusing to acknowledge their own aging. He understood the character not through research, but through simply having lived long enough. Some roles you learn. This one, he already knew. And then there's Alfie, the one that changed everything. A young Londoner who believed charm and confidence would carry him through life indefinitely, until they didn't. Caine knew men like Alfie. He'd grown up around them. When that film came out, America suddenly knew who he was. But when he thinks of it now, he doesn't think about fame. He sees the London of his youth, hears that voice, and watches a young man who had absolutely no idea what was ahead of him. That's the extraordinary thing about a long life in film. The sets come down, everyone goes home, but the people and the moments remain, whenever memory decides to take you back. If this kind of storytelling speaks to you, hit like and subscribe. There's plenty more where that came from.